Africa is not just a continent. It is a living memory, a breathing history, a heartbeat of stories passed down not through paper but through people. Culture in Africa is not a performance, it is life itself across the vast deserts of the Sahara, the dense forests of the Congo, the rolling hills of Rwanda, the plains of the Serengeti, and the bustling cities of Lagos and Nairobi. African culture exists, not frozen in museums, but alive in dance, in music, in rituals, and in the way people greet, eat, mourn, celebrate, and believe. Oral tradition is the soul of African culture before the printing press, before colonization, before smartphones. African wisdom moved from generation to generation by word of mouth. The griots of West Africa, poet-historians, kept lineages alive, reciting centuries of history by heart. They didn't just tell stories. They became them. In the villages of Mali and Senegal, a griot could remember the bloodline of a king from 10 generations back. In Uganda, elders would gather children under moonlight, not just to entertain, but to shape their minds. This is how values traveled. Truths wrapped in fables, in animal tales, in proverbs. A child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. But culture in Africa is not only spoken, it's danced across the continent. Dance is not just movement. It is communication. It is prayer. In Nigeria, the Bata dance drums call on the Orisha spirits. In Rwanda, the Intor dancers, adorned with crowns of sisal and spears, leap into the air as symbols of strength and honor. In South Africa, the Zulu warriors stomp the ground in rhythm, echoing the heartbeat of the land. Each movement tells a story of birth, of initiation, of war, of peace. To the outsider, it may look like celebration. But to those who know, it's sacred. And then, there is the cloth, the fabric of identity. A Kent cloth from Ghana is not just colorful, it is code. Each color, each pattern, each stitch has meaning. Yellow for wealth, green for growth, blue for harmony. The Maasai of Kenya and Tanzania wear red not for style, but as a symbol of courage and protection. In Ethiopia, the white cotton Habesha Kemes is worn during weddings and religious ceremonies. In Rwanda, the traditional umwitero is both modest and elegant, a symbol of womanhood and dignity. Even hairstyles tell stories. In pre-colonial Africa, one could know your tribe, marital status, age, and even spiritual role based on your hair. Culture is worn, not just remembered. Rites of passage are another pillar. Many African communities mark life's transitions, from childhood to adulthood, from singlehood to marriage, from life to death, with powerful rituals. Among the Xhosa in South Africa, boys undergo a sacred initiation called ulwaluko, a process of seclusion, reflection, and circumcision, marking their transformation into men. In Kenya, young Maasai warriors are trained in endurance and leadership through physical and spiritual trials. Even death is not the end. In many African beliefs, ancestors live on, guiding the living. Libations are poured. Drums are beaten. And in some cultures, it is believed that the dead must be buried properly or their spirits may wander. Spirituality in African culture is deeply rooted in nature. Before the arrival of Christianity and Islam, African belief systems were based on the connection to nature, ancestors, and the unseen world. The Yoruba people of Nigeria believe in a supreme god, Olajumo, and lesser spirits called Orishas who govern aspects of life. In Madagascar, the practice of Famadihana involves exhuming ancestors, rewrapping them in cloth, and celebrating their legacy with dance. This may seem strange to the Western eye, but in Africa, it is an act of deep love. It reminds us that we are never truly alone, that the past walks with us today. African culture stands at a crossroads. Colonialism, globalization, and digital influence have threatened many traditions. Languages are dying. Ceremonies are fading. But the soul of the culture refuses to die. In Ghana, young designers are fusing Kent with streetwear. In Uganda, spoken word artists are reviving the power of oral storytelling. In Rwanda, the tradition of Ubwiru is being digitized. Across Africa, youth are reclaiming their roots, not as relics, but as blueprints for the future. They are asking, what does it mean to be African today? To answer that, they are not just looking forward, they are looking back, because in Africa, to know your future, you must first know your roots.